You know what it is? Sports Shorts with David and Greg. What you know about it? Sports Shorts with David and Greg, baby. ESPN style highlights for the heads, baby. 2-minute drill, we on 10, baby. Bulldogs, Braves, Falcons, we talking it all, baby. We talking heydays and Herschel and Murph, dog. Matthew Stafford in primetime 21, y'all. We talking Neeks, Bud, Ogmont, and Concac. From Dark Rivers to Mookie Blaylock. Sports Shorts with David and Greg. Greg, baby. Sports Shorts with David and Greg. Greg, baby. Sports Shorts with David and
Man, I don't know how to end it without just an abrupt ending, but that is Sports Shorts with David and Greg's intro song that the crowd's going crazy for. Greg actually don't like it. I am your host, David, and across from me is Christina Tallboy's favorite host, apparently, Greg. Gregory, how's it going, my friend?
I told you on Facebook, David, don't be picking on my one fan. Now,
Man,
I've got one and you don't, so don't be
It's a
picking
little
on it.
bit damn ridiculous. I thought we were tight, Christina. Hurt my feelings. But
And for the record, now I'm digging the intro song now because that's the first time I think I've noticed the mention of John Concac. And anytime you can get Concac dropped in there, that's gold.
I threw a Concac, Mookie Blaylock. We're talking basketball from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, which is kind of relevant because that's what we're going to be getting into today. We're going to do a top five. Are we going to do bench or just a top five?
No, we're just going to, my concept was we're just going to kind of do an alternating back and forth, like starting five draft style. Like you and I both obviously can't pick the same player, but you and I are just going to go alternating turns to put a 5-man team on the court. And then we're going to ask our listeners to vote on whose team they think would win.
So to go along with our top five thing that we do, with a little countdown, which I actually enjoy doing it, we're going to do a top five NBA players, mano a mano, playground style. If we out at Rucker Park, you get your five, I get my five. Who we going to have go against each other? And I'm not going to lie, I feel pretty confident. I like my chances. And I will say, I don't know about you, Greg, I think you're probably along the same lines. Most of mine are going to be your 80s and 90s. Because that's the heyday, but is that how you're thinking too?
It is. I think, and I know we both sound like the grumpy old dudes telling kids to get off the lawn. Generationally, it was a different game back then, and I'm just the toughness, the competitiveness. I mean, look, I've said on this show, I believe I don't know that God has ever created a more physically gifted individual than LeBron James. Like when you create a man in a lab, if you can make him 6'10", 270 pounds, chiseled out of stone, and as athletic as anybody can imagine, that's what you would all want. I don't think LeBron would have lasted 2 or 3 years in the 80s and 90s.
1 second, not one damn game. And we'll get into that, but that is my thing. You made a talented, gifted. His longevity is insane, but today's players are weak, son. I can't watch it. I can't. It's hard for me to get into NBA basketball when they're taking games off and they're looking like damn soccer players out there flopping, making Vlade Divac look like a tough guy. I can't do it. So you won't see many of today's guys in my pick, if any. But today's game is different than what I grew up with.
I think when you come to the head-on-head of, we're drafting five that we're putting on the court to go against each other, that matters. And, I don't like knocking today's game too much because I don't watch much NBA. But what I do watch, man, they are some skilled players these days. Some of what these cats can do and the amount of guys now that are, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", handling the ball, shooting threes off the move. The game has just evolved so much. That's part of the fun part of the comparisons, I think, trying to compare the different eras and say who would do this against what. I think, the argument is, LeBron in Michael's age or Michael in LeBron's age. I think Michael in his prime would score 60 if he wanted to every game right now.
Anytime.
Like if you can't hand check Michael and you can't body him and push him around, that dude will get anywhere he wants to go.
Game is different. I won't go into too much detail because I might be trying to give away some of my players on who I would have checking who, but it is very different. The hand check, you can't even touch them nowadays. And if you do touch them, you got LeBron flopping all over the place. And I don't want to turn this into a LeBron hating show because like you said, as of right now, there's some questionable stuff with Diddy and all that, but with his parties. But LeBron seems like been with the same woman as far as I know. great guy. You haven't heard of like a whole bunch of cheating scandals, him out gambling in the middle of the night, things like that. So great guy, physical specimen, longevity at this age. I mean, Jordan, when he played when he was 40, it was not the same Jordan. The Jordan that we have, the LeBron that we have now at 40 something, whatever he is, or close to, is night and day difference over Jordan as far as athletic ability. Now, there's a lot more to put into like taking care of your body. I mean, I think LeBron spends upwards of $1 million plus with rehab and things of that nature. Today's game is hard for me to watch, but shooting, athleticism, incomparable, but grittiness, gameplay is different. It's just different.
It is.
We are going to do the top 5 pick, and we're going to choose. It has to be who you watch play. It can't be like we can't throw a Wilt Chamberlain out there.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice, and to most of the people that are listening to us are probably of our generation. So there's no reason to go back. I'm thinking kind of the early '80s Lakers Celtics generation.
Yeah.
Magic, Kareem, Larry. Anything before that, I'm being disingenuous if I'm trying to pick those players because I never saw them.
I'm just picking it just to say I picked Bill Russell, which whatever. And Wilt Chamberlain, you ain't scoring 100 in today's game, bro. You out there scoring on a bunch of 5'9" white guys scoring 100. I get it, but you ain't coming in that a day with the likes of everybody being 7 foot. But that's just me being harsh. He is scoring in other ways, though. That's for dang sure, my man.
Probably still.
Speaking of that, before we get into the back, did you see that the Hawks are having a Magic City night?
Why not?
Kudos. Where's my clapping?
And lemon pepper wings are good.
You know what? Good way trying to get clientele to come to the basketball games. Because let me tell you, if you want to get somebody to a basketball game, Magic City's the way to go. And if I'm being honest, as a dad, you already priced me out. With 3 kids, I can't go to the game anyways. You've made it almost impossible for normies to go. And I damn sure ain't going to take my kids on Magic City night. I'm not trying to have that conversation now. So you're trying to choose your clientele. You're trying to go WWE Attitude Era and make it where it's PG-13 or if not more. And I hate that, but you do what you got to do to get people in the seats. I also hate the seats being empty.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that, I think, the other day, and that's the same case with a lot of things that especially the nostalgia for our generation and the stuff we grew up on. And I think I mentioned, I went back out to Vegas back in January, and I've been going to Vegas for 25 years, and it's changed like dramatically. And luckily, I got a little bit more money now than I did in my early 20s. But back in my 20s, dude, I could go to Vegas with $500 or $600 and gamble on that for 3 or 4 days, hang out, have fun,
That's
drink for free.
Now.
Disney World, I don't know when the last time we take the girls to Disney, try to at least every other year.
Good
And
gosh.
I mean, a 4 or 5 day trip to Disney, you're talking $7 or $8 grand now. Like
That
it's
is
just
insane.
everything. Sporting events, like by the time you go, you try to take a family of 4 or 5 to a baseball game or a basketball game.
Yeah.
By the time you get parking, snacks, you're $800-900 in for a random Tuesday baseball game. It's ridiculous, but that's just our society, and luckily it's all about to blow up and the economy is going to crumble, and we'll just be able to talk sports every day.
Yeah, well, it appears to be on that track. It depends on who you talk to. But like I said, we will do the top 5. But speaking of Braves games, I want to get into a little bit of baseball preseason and how things are going. Greg, I know you said you used to be an anti-Braves fan, hater. Hater is what he called them. But as you see, I'm wearing my Braves cap from the World Series years. I'm feeling optimistic. There we go, baby. He's got a Braves on. Look at there. So the Braves season is starting up here soon. How do you feel about the season? What are you looking forward to? Baseball in general, but specifically the Braves.
I'm going to utter what is probably the most cliche phrase in all of sports and say it's really just going to break down on the injuries. And baseball. It's a long season. I mean, the starting pitching is very thin, especially with Waldrop and Swellenbach possibly starting off on the getting them back at some point in the season is going to be crucial. I think looking at the lineup again, if you can keep your core 4, so to speak, together, if you can give me a healthy Acuna, Olson, Albies, Austin Riley, throw in Drake Baldwin and Sean Murphy, like the lineup's not bad. We need good Michael Harris, not bad Money Mike that's all over the place, swinging and missing. Uh, I like the roster. I like the lineup. The pitching staff scares me, but you hang on long enough to get to the playoffs, and this was my argument last year, and I liked the Braves last year. They were very underachieving in my personal opinion. I looked top to bottom of that roster and thought they should have done better. But if you get to the playoffs and you can give me a 1-2 of Sale and Strider, I like my chances if both of those guys are right about against just about anybody, because that's two aces that in whether it's a 3, 5, or 7 game series, you go have to beat both of those guys, and that's asking for something.
Speaking of Sale, they did just re-sign him to 2027 with an option year of 2028. I think it goes like 27 million, 30 million, which you're like, oh my God, that is an insane amount of money. But you're not locked into a long contract, which can't be because he's what, 36, 37. So you're putting your hopes into a 36, 37-year-old as being your ace until Spencer Strider. I know he's coming off multiple injuries and all that, but he seemed to lost a couple miles per hour off his fastball last season. And I'm sorry, 95, 96 is not 99, 100. They can catch up to that a lot quicker than they used to could. And his snap on his curveball is he was he wasn't as accurate as he was when he first started working on that breaking pitch. And I think that's to me, I think that's what kind of where he went try to go too heavy on his breaking stuff. And that's what caused the arm injury, which it may happen anyways. But he's got to get another mile per hour or two on that fastball, or at least increase his accuracy. Um, the breaking stuff is it looked a lot better towards the end of the season last year, but you gotta have that if you're not gonna have that extra 1 or 2 mile per hour, and I know that seems ridiculous that that makes a difference, but it really does, especially when you're coming in high and tight. Another mile per hour or 2 is a big difference.
Well, and especially up there now, because I mean, these days, every cat up there throws
Mhm.
92, 93. So, if you're throwing 95, 96, you're a hard thrower, but you're not gassing it by anybody. These days, like you said, if you're not touching, 98 plus regularly, you're not getting by on just a fastball. And truth be told, even guys like a Aroldis Chapman and stuff like that, you've got to mix in something to keep people off balance, because they'll time that shit if you're throwing it 104. I don't care. They'll get on it.
That is my favorite guy to watch pitch. I love Aroldis Chapman, and also not a young cat, but built like a freaking Greek Adonis and has a little corkscrew type delivery and just hums it, son. I'm talking
How do you
102,
know he's not a
103.
young cat? There is zero proof of him ever having a birth certificate anywhere.
Well, I know he's not a young cat because I feel like I've been watching him play for damn near 18 years. So
I
he
I
may
re
be
I
older
remember
than what he says, but I damn sure know he's not younger than what he says.
yeah, I remember him coming up with the Reds, and he was that was back in the day where somebody throwing 100 was a big deal, and he did
Yes.
it every freaking pitch. It was ridiculous.
Am I wrong in the fact that I feel like he's throwing harder now at this age? It don't and I don't recall, I'll have to look and see, but I don't recall a big injury, Tommy John surgery on him that I can think of.
No, I
I should
think
have looked
more and
that
more,
up,
and
but
I
I
think
can't
this
think of
is
it.
touching on the Strider thing, and I think this is the one thing in his advantage. Coming off the injury, I think there's a pretty decent chance he gets those couple of miles per hour back. And in today's, especially big level sports like this, the technology involved, the research they do, the techniques, the mechanics, the video, they'll work on everything. They will figure out what it is. But no, you got guys like Aroldis just came up there before all that was such a big deal, and he was just flat slinging it.
I mean, bringing it, son, and, fun to watch. Um, you got listen, Grant Holmes did a great job last year, and we need him to step up again this year. I hope he's not a flash in the pan, come out of nowhere type guy, because we've got a while before Ronaldo Lopez, who knows what's gonna happen there. Swellenbach, I mean, if we can stay healthy, like you said, health is the name of the game, but I don't have confidence. We got Swellenbach, Ronaldo Lopez, but Chris Sale, also with the health, he always has had seemed to have some freak injuries. Like last year in that gritty game, I think it was against the Mets where he wanted to go the full 9 innings and laid out to try to dive and catch the ball and broke a daggum rib on a diving play right in the front. That's the kind of fluke stuff that happens when you 38 and or 36, 37 and have played for a while. But we got to prevent the injuries as much as possible. And that's like you said, it's cliche, but boy, is it true.
It is, and the young pitcher, and he's actually a relative of one of my neighbors here, but Hurston Waldrop is a cat that I think if he comes
Yeah.
back healthy and continues to work on his craft, like I took a special interest in him because like I said he's a relative of a family friend. So I was watching him a lot towards the end of the year when he got called up, and man, I like the way that cat works. He's got good A-level stuff. Like he's not going to, but he's bringing it 95, 96. But man, that dude for his age, I was amazed. He is a pitcher. That dude knows how to work the zone. He knows how to break pitches off at the right moment. He showed maturity well beyond what you would expect from somebody his age. And so if he can come back from injury, I mean, again, health is the key. You get him healthy, and then you throw him in the mix with Sale and Strider. I mean, that's a 1-2-3 punch that I think at least gives you a fighting shot in any series. And if the lineup can stay healthy, and if one of us damn near 50-year-olds can plug the hole at shortstop, then maybe we'll be all right this year.
Ha-Sung Kim is supposed to
He's
come
hurt.
back. I don't know when he's going to come back, but he's supposed to be our guy. I was pushing like crazy for us to somehow find a way to get Bo Bichette. I was on the Bo Bichette train. They teased me with it last year, but we have to have some production out of shortstop. Love Nick Allen defensively. Thought he played great, was a spark plug. Couldn't hit the ball out of a park on a 200-foot fence. Just we need a little more pop out of shortstop.
We had a running thing here, and like I said, I mean, I feel like an absolute joke of myself by knocking anybody who has made it to the big league level, and that dude played in a big league stadium day in and day out. So I have absolutely zero right to say anything bad about him. But that dude looks like he would barely make the team of his high school team, and he might be the backup shortstop of his high school baseball team.
I don't know if he'd have made the beer batters of the Macon softball.
He wouldn't have made shortstop.
He wouldn't have made shortstop. Man, injury. I keep, like you said, you feel bad, keep saying it, but my God, we look at the talent we got. It's there, but we have to stay healthy. You had Austin Riley on and off the DL last year. You had Ozzy Albies on and off the DL, and you had Jerkson Profar off because of damn steroids. At least he's trying to prevent injuries. I'll give him credit. Maybe he's trying to help, but Albies and Riley, I believe, are going to be two guys. Last year, I had zero confidence, and I love Ozzy Albies. He's a phenomenal guy. I love watching him fish, make his damn aquariums and all that. I love everything about him. But boy, we need some more production out of Ozzy Albies and Riley as well.
Ozzy needs to realize that he's a 10 to 15 home run a year guy, not a 25 to 30 home run a
And
year
he needs
guy.
to stay right-handed. I think he has more power left-handed, so he wants to go up there and get that home run. Because when he does hit it, it will go. It'll be right there at the chop house. But I feel more confident when he's up there as a righty. So this whole switch hitting thing, who am I to say? Maybe he'll surprise me this year, but I think he should stay righty. A buddy of mine, Jesse, said the same thing. It frustrates the hell out of him when he gets up there lefty. He has more confidence in him righty. And Austin Riley got a new hairstyle. I hope the hell that makes a difference, because 2 years ago, it feels like every other game he was hitting one out easy, and at least
But
not
he
hit the
went
ball
on a
hard.
run, like you said, 2 years ago, where for about a month and a half, he put that whole team on his back and
Yep.
carried them. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the guys on the corners. I love Riley and Olsen both. I love the way they play the game. I love the way they just go about their business. Neither one of them are, overly flashy. They don't get as much credit as they deserve. But I think if those two guys can stay healthy at the middle of that lineup, Riley and Olsen are going to be in for a big year.
Name a better third base, first base defensive combo. Though, like you said, they do not get the credit. Riley will pick some stuff that you're like, holy crap. Well, I mean, Olsen will pick some stuff that you're like, man, nobody else is picking that at first. And Riley consistently has a throw deep in the pocket and just fires a missile. Like, does not get the credit that they deserve as far as defensively. Love watching them. And one thing about Olsen is,
if we ever make it big enough to pull the strings to make this happen, I want to set up a first to third race between you and Matt Olson.
well, even with a torn Achilles, it might be close. He is not the fleetest of foot. We did not get much as far as the speed department when we traded Olsen for Freeman. He is not a quick
The fact
one.
that he hits as many doubles as he does
is amazing.
Is a testament to how well he strikes the ball.
Legit doubles. They got to bounce off the wall and not too hard, because, boy, he is not quick, but a hell of a defensive player. And you know what is going to be in the lineup? I believe he has the longest streak going right now as far as consecutive games. Got to love it. Speaking of the NBA earlier, the guys that don't want to play every game, at least Olsen is out there like, hey, you know what? If I'm able, I want to be in this lineup. And I appreciate that. That's why he's got some hell of RBI numbers. He's been bringing it in.
He's been consistent, man. Year in, year out, he just produces.
So our infield with that, I love that we have Murphy, if like you said, stays healthy, and we have Drake Baldwin. Drake Baldwin, as far as catcher to first to second, good grief. That pop time is insane, and Murphy's just as well. So I like having both of them being able to alternate, and with with the losing of Marcell Ozuna, which I believe it was time. I mean, I just didn't have the consistency out of.
He was one of those, and I don't know how else to explain it other than just
Speaking of
kind of
slow,
talk through it. Like we watched him year in year out. My oldest daughter is a huge Braves fan, so she and I watched the games together a lot. And
Big Bear.
you got like year in and year out. You go at the end of the season, he's going to hit 35 home runs. He's going to have 100 plus RBIs. You go, it's going to look like a productive year. But son of a gun, every time he comes up with men on base or in a crucial position, he is swinging at a slider that's 8 feet off the plate, and you just go, I don't know. He's like the most least clutch player the Braves have ever signed, and you can't bitch about the numbers, you can't bitch
Season
about the
before
contract because he
last,
puts
he
up
had
the
a lot more.
production. But it is like he's the anti Brian McCann.
Remember when Andrew Jones? We talked about Andrew Jones making Hall of Fame. Towards the end there, he would swing at anything that was going to be outside and low, and I feel like Ozuna got turned into that. But year before last was the year before last when he had 40 something. He was when he hit him. Now he hit him, and we also at some point need to talk about the fact that no hate, no Marcell Ozuna, but why can't Trevor Bauer get back in the league if Marcell Ozuna is in the league? Because Trevor Bauer got taken out of the league because of alleged sexual assault and physical abuse when it was proven that he did not do that. We got on tape Marcell Ozuna beating up his wife and barely spent any time off. Is celebrated today. So I'm just saying, not a fair.
I
Not a
have
fair
some theories,
comparison.
but that's probably not best discussed on the sports shorts show.
We'll do that in a political show. But I'm just saying, with the Pirates, I don't know. There's a good chance Ozuna's going to hit 45 home runs this year. That's how he's been going season after season. One season off, one season on. Clearly, he was off last season, so he's liable to do 45. And then we're questioning why we let him go. But I think you'd let him go just because it's time.
If he hits 45 home runs, 38 of them will be completely meaningless.
Good point. I don't know where he's going to fall in the lineup. I wouldn't put him that high, but then again, hardly anybody is. Who's this McCutcheon?
I don't know. Is he still?
Is
He's
he
got to
still?
be close to retired.
He was upset with the signing of Marcell Ozuna. I don't know if he's afraid he's going to take his spot at because he's got to be DHing by now because he's got to be up there. And so we have an open spot for DH, and to being able to put Baldwin in there if Murphy's playing, or Murphy in there if Baldwin's playing, I like that, keeping them two in the lineup every day as far as batting. Now, there were a lot of rumors and a lot of jerks, and Profar was upset because they threw his name out there as a DH because we got Mike Yastrzemski, and Profar did not like that. He was a little upset. So I don't know if that's going to ruffle some feathers. We might have to make a change, but
Yeah, I mean, you just got to wait and see how it plays out. I mean, you hope they can come together and everybody can, figure out that, hey, it might be some sort of platoon or rotation that's the best for the team. But in this day and age, with the money on the table and the contracts, that are thrown around, I get a guy like, that's numbers and production is what drive your next contract. So rotating with somebody or not being able to show your value in the business world, it's a big deal. So I get both sides. You hope that the competitiveness and the true team aspect of it comes out in the end, and these guys realize, hey, let's get out there and win some games, and everybody will be able to put up the numbers and show what they can do. But yeah, nobody wants to sub out, nobody wants to DH. We all want to play. Like that's human nature.
I mean, DH ain't that bad. All you do is hit. I just wanted to hit back in the day. I mean, once I couldn't move anymore, I'm taking the Kyle Schwarber approach. Schwarber just gets up there like, you know what? I'm just going to hit. Nowadays, who's going to be the first full DH to make the Hall of Fame?
I mean, Schwarber will be have to get mentioned.
He's going to be up there if yeah, absolutely.
He keeps putting up numbers. I mean, damn, hits 40, 50 home runs a year. At some point, you can't stop. You can't just keep ignoring it.
Another one where you're like, my God, how long has he been at this? He's been at it a minute. David Ortiz, I guess, towards the end there, but he did play a good chunk of first base. But Profar, You ain't got no right to say, bro. I wouldn't ruffle too many feathers this year because we still remember signing your ass, and then like 2 days later, you get suspended for 80 games of the season and not being able to play in the postseason. Which, luckily, in your case, we didn't make it, so it don't matter. But that would have been a shitstorm to have to not be able to not have to play. So take your medicine and eat it, there, bro. But this is the projected lineup. Possibly the batting order. I could see a little changes in this, but this is the projected opening day lineup. Batting first, right field, Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, what can you say? A healthy Ronnie is insane. He's one of the top 5 players in the league from a 5-tool standpoint. Arm, just unreal. And
A focused
does
and
not
healthy Ronnie is even better.
Oh, absolutely. And he does not look, and when we saw him last year at Gwinnett, when we went and watched him coming back off injury, he looked a little chunky, did not look as fast as I remember, but does not get thrown out a lot and has a lot of stolen bases. Now, he's not going to turn a double into a triple anymore, and nor do I want him to. Save it.
He can turn a lot of doubles into singles.
Well, he can do that. He can also turn a lot of singles into homers, but although are you referring to the other day when he hit one off the wall and got a single?
I mean,
off
the
of
other
it?
day, he does it every day. I mean, look, you
In his
cannot
defense,
question.
that one sounded gone.
He is unquestionably one of the top 5 talented players in the game. I mean, he's up there. Like the tools are ridiculous. Like he has been blessed. But
That throw he made against the
sometimes
Yankees,
his
good
give a
grief.
shit meter is a little off.
And those balls that fall in right field sometimes, I gave him a pass. I was like, okay, don't hurt your ACL or nothing like that. I get it. But now I'm like, hey, we got to have those, bro. We can't allow those to drop. That could be a big inning. But then he'll do that and then throw somebody out that he had no business throwing out at third base from the corner, 80 feet away, just a missile. So
Yeah,
you know what
very,
you're going to
very
get with
gifted.
Ronnie, if healthy. If healthy. And how do you feel about him batting first? You still think?
I mean, I understand that, the sabermetrics and all the analytics have told you get your best players the most at bats. I get it. I mean, when you and I used to play co-ed softball, I made the argument. I go, I want to bat as early as often as possible. Like, but it's still just something about it just doesn't feel right. Like
It doesn't.
I
I
could,
don't like and Schwarber will do the same thing. They'll bat
yeah.
Schwarber lead off, and it's confusing
And that makes
to
even
me.
less sense. I mean, at
I
least Ronnie
agree.
is a little bit of a stealing threat and
Ronnie, I
a
get
runner,
it,
but
but Schwarber, I don't know. There's
yes,
something
like I
in
said,
it, like you
maybe I
said.
just haven't adjusted with the times, and I don't understand the analytics and the sabermetrics as well as I should. But I'm still kind of like you. You're trying to set the table for 3 and 4 hitters, and then 5, and then you just kind of start over with 6, 7, 8. But nah, I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, clearly they've got the numbers and the data to back it up. But no, I'd much rather see him in the 3 hole.
Agreed. But there's nobody that can take if Jerickson comes along. He's not a speedy, but we need somebody like a Jerickson, and it's not Michael Harris. I wish it was. Michael
Well, the
Harris is
truth
the
is that
ideal leadoff guy, but he's not consistent enough.
well, I mean, again, if Ozzy didn't want to hit 30 home runs a year, Ozzy would be a perfect leadoff candidate. But he doesn't want no, and that's the thing. Like you think about it, there are no in the era of what you and I think of as a leadoff hitter, those guys don't exist anymore.
No, there's no Ricky Hendersons like what we think, or your Rock Rains, things like that, or uh, Marquise Grissom's, Otis Nixon's, Deion Sanders. There's not that guy anymore. They have to have a little more pop. And same way with shortstops we was talking about earlier. It used to be like, well, it didn't matter if he hit home runs. Now, ever since A-Rod and your Cal Ripkins, you got to have somebody with a little pop. But there's no, until they can find a true leadoff, Ronnie's probably going to stay there. I wish he would move down to help out his RBI numbers, but probably not going to happen. Second, they have catcher Drake Baldwin. That's pretty high for a catcher. You got to give him, I mean, but he can move. They
Yeah, I
got
mean
him batting
he's a
second.
better athlete than, and again, I think that's kind of an old school moniker for catchers being slow and unathletic. Most of the modern day catchers are a little
Yeah.
better than what we think of as the past.
Not a
But the
lot
bigger
of
thing is, I mean, he's a good clutch hitter. That if Ronald gets on base, he's going to be able to move him over and get him in position for Olsen and Riley. I guess that's got to be the thinking.
It's the only thing I can think of. And more at bats for him can be a really good thing because I think he needs a few more major league at bats. And the way he improved from last season, from the start to the end, pretty damn impressive. He has another jump even similar to that. We're gonna be in good shape when it comes to catchers. By the way, the last 5 or 6 years, we've had a catchers, dual catchers, even when we had, Travis d'Arnaud and you had Murphy or we had the Contreras, like, we've really stepped it up in the catcher game. You can
I
even
mean,
go
that's
back to the Javi Lopez, Brian McCann days. We've been blessed with some pretty decent catchers.
I mean, it's the one position on the baseball field other than pitcher that you can actually make an argument is somewhat physically taxing. So it does make a little bit more sense that that's a more of a rotational position than the rest of the field.
And you have to be intelligent. That's why a lot of former catchers are managers nowadays. That's they know the game, they know how to call the game, and you just gotta be very smart. So we need, you know, have that back there. Batting third, Matt Olson, of course, playing first base. I mean, what can you say? You know he's gonna be there every day. He's gonna most likely make pretty decent contact. He's gonna get your RBIs when he needs it. Um, I really like Matt Olson. I hated losing Freddie Freeman, but if you're gonna give me a Matt Olson, a local guy somewhat, I'm for it.
Yeah, I mean, I made the argument when the transactions happened. I said, it's on a personal and emotional level, it sucks because you always want to see a guy like Freddie remain a Brave. But on the numbers in black and white, I told everybody, I think we're going to see this in the long run. To go, if not an even swap, I think the Braves may have upgraded. I hate to say it, I love Freddie Freeman, but Matt Olson is day in, day out. He's about as good as you're going to get at first base.
Well, I'm gonna need Freddie Freeman to stop doing everything and making all the clutch hits and shit to help that point because man, every time I turn around, Freddie Freeman's doing something great. I love Freddie Freeman and he's getting clutch. Speaking of clutch, I mean, it don't get much more clutch than Freddie Freeman here lately. He's a big hit
I
Freddie,
loved
baby.
watching Freddie.
He's
He was,
fun. That one
and
hurt.
and he was one of those that for a guy who a lot of folks consider Freddie a power hitter. I never thought like Freddie's a hitter. Freddie's
He
more in the
is a
mold of a
hitter.
Tony Gwynn. He just has he's a big guy and he just has natural pop. But he's just a
Every
pure hitter. He's just got a pretty swing, makes solid
left
contact.
center.
He is not he's
You
not a
could tell he
power
focuses on
player,
left
but
center.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's, like you said, the Tony Gwynn. He has that left center type opposite field and pull if you got to, but he's looking left center, it looks like to me every
Well, and
single
he
time.
never looks like he's trying to hit it out of the park.
No, it's just throwing the bat on the ball and the barrel hits it, it goes. If it doesn't, then you got a line drive to left field. So this one they have DH and batting fourth, Jerks and Profar. Fourth is a bit, unless I mean that's pretty high up there for Profar for me. I don't see the power numbers to make
I think
that
he's
feasible right
routinely
now.
been thought of as a guy who, if he can stay healthy and if he gets the at bats, I think there's the potential for him to be a 30 plus home run guy. He certainly has the pop. He's got it in there. Um, his thing is he's just one of those guys that since I recall him coming up, it's always been you're waiting on that moment for the light to come on and you're waiting for it to click and for him to become what everybody thought he was going to be because he's talent. He's as talented as he can be. He's just gotta put the work in and gotta get the at bats and hopefully at some point, like I said, it just clicks and he develops into the player everybody thought he could be.
He is. He won me over wanting to play, not wanting to DH. I can appreciate that, but I'm worried about all those power numbers. Once you get popped for performance enhancing drugs, we all have to question: was that you, or was that the performance enhancing drugs previous? Are we going to have those power numbers? And I mean, listen, give me an average, I get it, but in the fourth spot, I would want somebody like who they got batting fifth if he comes back being the guy we know, and that's Austin Riley. Austin Riley to me is the stereotypical prototype when it comes to batting fourth, which I know third is now the cleanup, but I'm like I said, old school. I'm thinking fourth is the cleanup spot. But
Yeah,
I
I
need
agree with you.
Riley
Like I
to
said,
hit 30 to 33, 34 home runs this year. That's what
I
I
could
want.
I can make the case for Profar. I think he's got more pop than maybe most people realize. But yeah, I'm with you. I personally, if I was setting that lineup, I think I'd have Olson 3 and Riley 4 day in day out. Or truth be told, I might even flip flop them. I might put Riley 3 and Olson 4. Can't tell you why. It just when I think of it in my head, I just see it better that way.
Feels better. Yeah, no, I agree. And then they got, like I said, they got Riley batting fifth. Sixth, again, we talked about this earlier, Ozzy Albies, who in a perfect world, when he's on, is a perfect second hitter. I think the years that we had him where he was batting second was I loved seeing a Ronald and Ozzie back to back. Like, I just felt comfortable because as much as I ragged on the switch hitter part, if you get Ronnie on and you got can go either way with and throw it the other way wherever he's at, I love that idea. But they got him batting sixth in this one projectively, and it needs a big year. Like I said, I don't need 30 home runs, but I need 20, and I need you to bat. I need you to sniff 300. I need you to be batting
Yeah,
like
his
that.
his his metric should be on base percentage and runs scored. That I mean, look, we love Ozzy, and I mean, for a 5'6", 100 and nothing pound second baseman, he's got great pop, but that's not what the team needs. That shouldn't be his
Mm-mm.
goal. He needs to focus on getting on base and getting around the bases and scoring some runs because that's what's going to help the team win.
Stop trying to keep up with Altuve over in Houston because he does have some pop to be the a little person, basically. It's insane. The picture of him and Aaron Judge beside each other, I love watching that or seeing that. And in the seventh hole, playing center field, again, we need a big year. Michael Harris.
Yeah, I know I sound like a broken record, but that's just another guy that I think just the knock on him, in my opinion, he just tries to hit too damn many home runs. Like it's just not who he should be. Great center fielder, elite level defensive center fielder, makes plays look easy that a lot of guys out there
Mhm,
still don't
mhm.
make. Um, I think, he's got a little bit more of that clutch gene than a guy like we were talking about with Marcel. So, and I love Money Mike. I think he's still in that developmental stage. I think he can get more consistent. I think he can kind of find his niche and find his role. I'd make the argument for where he is in the lineup. I think that's a an upgrade over most people in that position in the lineup. So I think that's a good spot for the Braves.
If you have him hot batting at, 7th, we talked about Freddie Freeman, how he will, like, looks as if he's looking left center to try to hit the ball. I don't feel like I see that with Money Mike. And by the way, if you're gonna be called Money Mike, you better step it up when it comes to batting. We need another something. And you wear all these flashy stuff. If you want to be that, that's fine, but you gotta deliver. But I think he needs to look more left center. And I know that sounds easy, like hey, Tony Gwynn, that's what he said. But it's true. Like you look left center and then adjust on an inside pitch and turn on that. He looks like anything outside, he's trying to hit the right field. That like I tell my oldest boy, you can't hit an outside pitch to right field. If you do, it's not very strong.
Hard.
Look center, left center. Like, look left center and just adjust from there, and I promise you, you get more contact, more, hard hits that way as opposed to trying to pull everything. He's hitting everything off the end of the bat or swinging at stuff in the dirt.
I can't I can't be a total hypocrite as a right-handed hitter. I don't know if I ever hit a ball to right field in my entire career, so I can't give any advice on how to go opposite field. But if you're a big league player, you're making millions of dollars to do it. Yeah, I'm with you. You got to figure out how to get on base. Same thing with the Aussie.
Mhm.
Like learn how to go opposite field. Learn how to slap some doubles down there. But again, we talked about it. It's a product of our society. Everything's about chasing the money, and right now the long ball pays the bills.
I know. I love it, and I'm not gonna lie, I love when I see big home runs. I mean, I'm still got some 1998 in me. I like watching the big guys hit it deep, but as I get older and the more I coach baseball, I realize, hey, that's not we're looking small ball. Bring back small ball the best we can. Eighth, and I think we're gonna see this change a little bit. Left field and batting eighth is Mike Yastrzemski. I think he's the type that's probably gonna have end up batting second. I think he's gonna move up in the lineup. I don't see him staying in that eighth spot if that's what this is gonna be looking like. But Yastrzemski just like Profar, I had all the excitement. At first, I was like, "Who is that?" And then I got excited. So I think Yastrzemski might move up in that lineup. I don't see him sticking at the 8th position.
Yeah, I don't have any sort of inside knowledge, obviously, but I think that is probably the hope or the wish for that to be the case. I think if he has the kind of year that they're projecting, I think they're anticipating, yeah, moving him up in the lineup and getting him some more at bats. And I think he could be a little more of a prototypical second place hitter. But I mean, it felt like that last year. Right? It was constantly kind of shuffling the lineup around, and I really liked last year's team on paper, and I kept telling everybody, it just felt like it never clicked. Like they just
How are
never
we
got the
not better
big
than we
hits.
were?
It just,
I know.
yeah, it just never felt like anything came together at the right time.
Nobody clicked at the right time. Previous years, I feel like we've had runs where you're like, man, this whole month we've hit so many damn long balls and had still so many runs. But the last season, I feel like if you don't get 7 good innings out of your starter, you're screwed. I did not trust our bullpen for 3 or 4 innings. That just could not happen, and unfortunately happened all too often. Ninth, they have this one's gonna change obviously when Hosop Ha-Song Kim comes back. They got Mauricio Dubon batting ninth. And I'd be lying if I said I knew a whole lot about this guy. I think he's a good player. Everybody bragged on how good of a pickup it was to have as a backup, but he's more power than Nick Allen. But defensively, I don't know. We'll see. But Knight, throw him in there, see what happens. I guess that's where you got to put him.
Well, I can say absolutely one thing for certain about Mauricio Dubon, and that is if he sat down at the table across from me, I wouldn't recognize him.
That is true. That could go for a lot of the players we started bringing up towards the end there.
Don't
I don't
couldn't
know.
I'm not even gonna pretend to offer any sort of analysis on Mauricio Dubon as the starting shortstop because it would be total BS. I'm making it up.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
I was looking at it. I was like, I can't think of nothing to say. Um, but
Until I
that's the
looked at the
projected.
roster this morning, I had never heard the name Mauricio Dubon. I will be honest.
They're playing today, and they got a bunch of starters playing at 105 against the Red Sox. So I'm gonna look forward to that. Uh, like you said, it sounds like a broken record, but with any team, it's true. But with the Braves, it seems even more true. Injuries, 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 and don't let them come in droves. Anytime we get somebody back, somebody goes out. I would like a good 3 months of our full team healthy, hopefully at the end. But I feel like by the time we started getting people healthy towards the end last year, we were already out of it. So it didn't even freaking matter. But I'm hoping healthy stays the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think, speaking predominantly as a fan in this case, I just hope that I hope they're competitive enough to where when we get to August, it's still fun to watch and there's still something to want to put the game on every day and tune in. College football is by far my passion when it comes to sports. But man, there's just something special about baseball. There's something to know when it's
Love it.
5, 6 games a week. You get in the routine of seeing the guys come on every night and watching the guys play.
At the dinner
Last year
table
we were
watching the
season
Braves. I
tickets
love
at
it.
the Braves, and we didn't go as many as we should. But I'm looking forward to getting out to the stadium and going to some games. You and I need to go do a live remote from a couple of games this year.
Yeah, be fun.
I'm ready for baseball season to be here, man. I the older I get, the more I come around to just enjoy watching baseball.
It is. It's funny how that happens. You get older, you're like, I just like to sit and watch baseball. Like I feel like an old man. Speaking of watching baseball, and speaking of me saying speaking of, I get tired of that. But uh this year the Braves have gone to Braves Vision, they're calling it, and I completely don't understand it as of yet, but it looks as if they're taking over their rights to have their own channel basically to where they're coming on, where they had FanDuel previously. Braves Vision will be happening this year to where we can watch it. They have don't think they've released on what networks they're going to be on without having to buy the service, but I'm thinking, is it like an app I can purchase, much like FanDuel, and just pay a monthly fee?
That's my understanding to now. I feel like every year for the last 5 years, it's changed every year on how you can watch them, what
Oh,
channel they're on, what and I think we're
oh
just in
boy,
a
do I miss the
transitional phase
TBS
with
days.
yeah, with all of that stuff. But yeah, apparently Braves Vision, I don't know what the cost is gonna be. I mean, surely it can't be more than 10, $20 a month, if that.
Probably 20
Um
because that's what FanDuel was.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, all I ask is just make it simple. Like that, the thing I hate now is you get some of these apps that just they're hard to get them to work with your TV, and then you having to work them on your phone and try to cast them to the TV. If you're gonna do it, and if we're gonna bring out something new, look, just realize baseball fans are purists. When the game's on, we just want to be able to turn it on and watch it. Just don't make the app complicated. Don't make it hard to link to your provider and everything. If we got to sign up, we got to pay. That's fine, but just make it simple.
A lot of teams were going to the MLB package where you pay like 150 and you get to watch all the games, and they were being included because now if you get it, it takes away your local it's a local blackout. So I've had it for the last couple seasons, and I'd wait till Father's Day because it goes half price. So I'd pay the half price, which is like $60, or $75, something like that. And you can watch every team, all the games, and I love it. And if they were there were talks of doing that when it comes to the Braves, and I was rooting for that because it makes it easy because I already have that app. I already know that program, how it works, and you watch the minor league games, and you got MLB TV on there. But ESPN bought it out, and that was the rumor that they were going to go to that. Instead, they decided to have their own channel, which is Braves Vision, which if I have one request, please make the games 7:35 and 7:05. Take it back old school. Give us something. If I'm going to pay $20 a month, which I will gladly pay, just make me feel warm inside by saying it's a 7:35 start. I used to love that. And if there's rain delays, please show America's Wildest Police Chases because that's what they always used to play on TBS. So that would get me right in the old ticker right here if you do that.
Yeah, you start feeling like you're curled up on the couch in Thomaston, Georgia again if that starts
I
happening.
love it. Give me T-Town, baby. I love me some T-Town. I ain't going back, but I do love it. It's like Macon. I did love Macon, but I don't see myself going back to live, that is. Well, that's a preview of the MLB, mainly the Braves. We'll probably do a preview of all the MLB at some point, but let's face it, we mostly know the Braves. And now that takes us to the basketball. Greg, you ready for this?
Yes, man. It was my idea, but I'm nervous.
How are we going to do that? Who's going to get first pick? That's what we need to know.
Well, at the risk of sounding like too much of a game show host, I thought this through, and I actually put a number on a piece of paper, and all you got to do is say odd or even. If you get it right, you get the first pick. If you get it wrong, I do.
Odd. Damn it. I knew I should have went even. Even though he's an odd ball, I knew he was even.
Now, if I tell you how much thought I put into that, dude, I spent probably a good minute going, okay, so Michael's 23. 23 is odd, so he's going to be thinking odd numbers naturally. So I'm going to go with an even number, but then that's like reverse psychological. I go, maybe he'll be thinking I'm thinking that. So anyway, all right, yeah, give me Michael.
I like that you thought I was thinking. I did not think. I just reacted. There's no deep thought in this, Greg.
No there, huh?
So what we're going to do is we're going to pick our 5 best players to go against each other, basically. So you can pick all guards if you want to, but you're probably going to get beat. And we'll put it out there and see who will help us out as far as picking who they think will be the best team, and the best man wins. We're not going to go before we started watching, which is the 80s, probably mid-80s for most of us in our age group. So we're not going to pick your Wilt Chamberlains and things like that. What we'll do is, now, is this fair since you had first? Well, no, we did first. I was going to say I would give you first pick if you'd let me pick 2, like start up like snake draft where I pick one.
We can do that.
And then I pick another one.
Yeah, we can
do that. So you pick 1, then I'll pick 2, then you pick 1, or we'll go from that way. Does that sound good?
All right. Fair.
All right. So I'll get the 2 picks after your 1. And I'm pretty sure we all can guess what pick 1's going to be for guys our age or in general. But Greg, I'll let you take over. You make your pick. Tell us why.
Well, after careful deliberation and much internal debate, I have wrestled with this decision for God knows how long now. I'm going to take a flyer.
Go ahead and write down.
I'm going to start my team with Michael Jordan.
God Almighty! How can you not? How can you not? But
see, now's where the strategy comes in, because now you get 2 picks, and we have to figure out how to match up.
I know. So I'll let you describe why you picked Michael Jordan, as if there's a reason for anybody to have to know.
Outside of Tiger, he is the single greatest competitor I have ever witnessed. And we've seen all the backstories. We've seen all the documentaries. That son of a gun had a killer instinct. And like, I'm one of those guys where I'm wired to where if the lights are on and somebody's keeping score, I do not want you to beat me, but I can't sniff Michael Jordan's level of competitiveness. If you watch the documentary on the Bulls, that dude
several times.
He is legendary. He is iconic. He's Michael. He is for our generation, especially, and even outside of our generation. He's one of the top 5 or 10 all-time names, people ever. Like, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan.
100%. Can't argue. That would have been my first pick of the draft any draft we did, any era, even if it's today's, I'm picking Michael Jordan. I think he could play at any era, at any time. I've yet to see it to where I don't think, well, he probably can't stack up in today's game. Nope, not it, to do 2010s, 2020s, anytime, and probably until I'm no longer on this earth, he could come at any point at his prime and play at any level against anyone. I'm a Jordan fanatic, huge fan, and he is now starting to take over NASCAR. Two weekends in a row, his guy has won them the Daytona 500 and then in Atlanta. So, being a North Carolina guy, I can see him being NASCAR. But if you'd have told me in '88 when I was watching him dunk on everybody, if I think, hey, one day that guy's going to be a NASCAR owner, I'd have been like, you done lost your mind. But
Nah,
like you said, competitive.
He's unique.
Competitive when it comes to gambling too. Quite the gamble guy. That documentary shed some light on his competitiveness, but also he's not the greatest guy. He's a little douchey. I mean, you may not want to be best friends with him. You don't want to leave your wife with him. I know that from what I've read in the book.
I don't think he'd want to be best friends with me either.
No, he would not. So Michael Jordan, obviously first pick. Why couldn't it be? So I get 2 picks now. I'm going to start off with the stereotypical white guy pick. That's from the 80s.
I got
I'm going to go. Yep. Bill Laimbeer, you're right. Larry Bird. Now we're choosing these people in their prime. So we're talking Larry with a good back. We're not talking Larry with a bad back laying on the floor. Larry Bird, competitor. I grew up thinking Larry was the man, and it's easy for a white guy to be like, a white kid to be like, man, that's Larry Bird. That's like me, if you want to do it that way. But if you go back and listen to everybody talk about it, they said he just happened to be white. He's not good as a white guy. He was talented and good as a player in general and competitive and wanted to beat you. You got something to say?
It's hard to say a guy like Larry Bird, who is literally one of the NBA legends, one of the all-time greats, undisputed and all that. But there's also, I could kind of make the argument, to some degree, I think maybe he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think there's a lot of cats who have kind of forgotten about just how good Larry Bird, like we all remember how good a shooter he was and all that. But go back and watch that cat play ball in college. Watch him early in the Celtics when he was healthy and could move. I mean, just all around phenomenal basketball player, gritty, knows how to win. And there was not a weakness in his game other than being white.
Not the biggest jumper, but he has his dunker too. Phenomenal ball handling skills. And I don't just mean dribbling.
Indeed.
Obviously, he's not Pistol Pete by no means, but can get a pass to a guy out of nowhere and just find him. And talking about his competitiveness, I remember him going into the 3-point contest, and there's legends of him walking in and saying, all right, which one of you guys are finishing second? To a group of just studs and just saying that. I think Reggie Miller's told that story. And listen, when it comes to a game-winning shot, obviously you Michael, but I'm going to put Larry up there with it. Not only because he can make those, he can shoot, but you're not blocking his shot. The way he shot with the behind over the top, that was a very odd way to do it. But you ain't finding many videos of Larry getting blocked. So he can get a shot off at any moment, can pop it, and even over the backboard as well. So I'm going Larry Bird. That doesn't match up necessarily with Jordan because it's more of a small forward, but close. But my second pick, I mean, how can you not pick this guy if you're going to pick Larry first? One Magic Irvin Johnson. I mean, that it screams 80s, and I get it, but you're talking about a 6'10" guard who has ball handling abilities, can find a pass anywhere you want to find it. He can find a guy open from anywhere on the court. Just a great, didn't get the respect he deserved as a shooter, was a decent shooter, had to work on it a lot. Not a 3-point threat by no imagination, but just a phenomenal point guard, a guy that can run the court, the guy that can run the team. And listen, if I need him to go play center, he can go play center. If I need him to be a shooting guard, he can do that, even though he's not the best shooter. I can put him at all 5 positions, which happened in a playoff game, I think, against the 76ers. At one point, he played all 5 positions because he's tall enough, athletic enough. Magic Johnson is my pick. HLV aside, I'm taking Magic.
Magic is again one of the all-time greats, and I think you keep hitting it. The knock on him was always he wasn't a great shooter, and I think you got to factor in, and not to be too much generational and old school, but it wasn't his game because back then that wasn't the point guard's game. Like he wasn't ever taught to be a shooter. He wasn't ever required to be a shooter. That was not what he worked on.
He just had to throw it in.
You could watch Magic Johnson play basketball, and as good as he was, as the way he had a feel for the game, if they needed Magic to score 30, Magic could score 30. And if Magic was growing up in today's age where all anybody cares about is shooting and scoring, I guarantee you Magic Johnson can shoot a basketball.
Yeah. And I mean, in comparison, yes. But not fancy, but he was fancy, but wasn't going to put up 38 points. But he's going to have a good 22 and about 18 assists with 17 boards, maybe. I mean, he's just that kind of guy. So, well, I got Larry and I got Magic. You got Michael. Who's your next pick?
You've left me in a weird scenario because I guess I would have never imagined I'd end up with having both of these, and one of them I don't even want, but I have to. I got to take Kobe and LeBron.
You don't get two. You get one.
Why do I get the snake?
Well, yeah, I guess that's the case. Okay. Kobe and LeBron? That's a tough one.
That's what I'm saying. You give me if I can walk on the court with Michael, Kobe, and LeBron, I don't know if you can beat me already.
Listen, I'll let you give your take on it. Go ahead.
I mean,
I guess the snake does work.
I'm with you. Part of it is if you got Magic running point, LeBron's the only thing I think that could even remotely compete as a point guard. Ideally, I would much rather have Steph Curry as point guard because I like the shooting and I like the style. But if we're trying to match up, and again, if we're in the park and you're taking Magic and Larry to start, and I've already got Michael, and I still see Kobe and LeBron sitting over there on the sideline, I'm not going to leave them sitting on the sidelines anymore. So that's as simple as that is, because I think Kobe and LeBron are both two of the top 5 or 10 players ever. And if they're sitting there because you didn't draft them, well, they're pissed off at you, especially Kobe, because Kobe will hate you for not drafting him. So give me Kobe, and I cannot stand LeBron. I am the biggest non-LeBron James fan there is. But the guy's 6'10", freaky athlete. If I can have him running the point guard for me right now, then I'll take it.
Yes, Kobe and LeBron. You can't beat it. Steph Curry, like you said, the best shooter I've ever seen, bar none, hands down, no question.
But see, now for the matchup, you can't take Steph because Steph would be an absolute liability on this team.
That would be ridiculous to take that, which is why I think it's ridiculous that you took Kobe, Michael, and LeBron, because who's shooting? You think Kobe's going to pass the ball? You think Michael's going to pass the ball? LeBron, credit, will pass the ball. And he damn sure don't want it at the end of a game sometimes. Sometimes I feel like he's not that guy to take over. But come down to the last second shot, who's going to get it? Michael and Kobe are in a boxing match on the corner trying to get the ball. They're going to fight each other. Kobe is Kobe. He's the Mamba. He's competitive. But Kobe, nobody liked playing with Kobe because you know what people like? The ball every now and then. Kobe would go games where he wouldn't pass the ball like 3 times the whole game. And it was an accident because it fell off his knee. He was not a passer. God rest his soul. Phenomenal player, but he would not pass the ball. Ball hog definition.
Let's take your argument to the next step, though. You're asking me who I give the ball to at the end of the game. If you're in the defensive huddle, who are you double teaming if I've got Michael and Kobe on the court?
Listen, at this point, we're not doubling nobody because we got too many good players. But I'm double. Oh, that is a good one. I'm leaving LeBron. Screw LeBron. If I had to double one,
LeBron's not going to be on the court. I'll go 4 on 5 in the final seconds.
I tell you who's doubling. I'll tell you who I'm doubling. Whoever gets the ball, because I know they're not going to pass the damn thing. At one time, Michael Jordan passed to John Paxson, maybe once to Steve Kerr too, and he's famous for that one pass. Name a pass that's Kobe's famous for. I'll wait.
The lob to Shaq in the playoffs against the Blazers.
That was an accident. That was back when he liked Shaq before he got caught. Kobe, listen, the book with Phil Jackson I read some last year, I think it was. This was before his death, obviously. Phil Jackson, not a big Kobe fan. Mad ass about him. Did not want him on the team. Wanted Shaq instead of Kobe.
Well, I mean, in that day and age, Shaq was about as unstoppable a force as there was in the game of basketball.
He was. He was about as unmotivated as well. That's the bad part. He would not want to practice. He did not. If Shaq practiced and played the mentality that Kobe had, he would be bar none the best player ever to live. And he's already up there, but he was just a freak. What could you do to stop it? But on that note, I'm not going to go center just yet because I don't want to. I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to pick a guy that I think if I'm looking to put somebody out there that's going to stop somebody, I think you may know where I'm going with this. If I'm wanting somebody to basically take away one of your players, and I know I have, if he was to guard LeBron, it'd be over. LeBron would score 1 point, 1 point if I put this guy on him. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Dennis Rodman. I'm going to take Dennis Rodman. Listen, rebound and defensive wise, and the game, the mentality. He may not show up to every game, but if he shows up, he's going to play hard. He may be drunk and have carbon electron in his arm, but defensively, the way he changed things around, Dennis Rodman's who I'm taking.
All
Mr.
right, you got another
9-1.
one.
Listen, weird, odd character, little back before transgender was cool or cross dressing was cool. He did it way before then. The odd hairstyles, the banging Madonna, but especially when he was on the Bulls, late with the Spurs is really took off. He was great with the Pistons, but wasn't there. Didn't know how to express his craziness, shall we say. But when he got to the Spurs, man, you put him out there with David Robinson and things like that, you ain't getting a rebound over that. Twin Towers and nah. So shut down guy, get in your head, mess with your brain. You never know what you're gonna get. You might get punched, you might get that. But Dennis Rodman to put out there and put a stop on somebody, I'll take my chance.
Yeah, and I think you're right too. If especially if we were playing this game in the park, he'd be so up in LeBron's head. Like
Oh, God.
me having LeBron on
It's
my
over.
team
He's
would
out.
be worthless.
He's out. LeBron is
You get your
gone.
snake though, because you get double picks this time.
Okay. On that note, not on that note, a different one. I'm gonna go center, and there's obvious choices that you think you would make, like we just talked about, as far as the big man being Shaq Diesel, something different. But I'm gonna look for a guy that can run the court, play it all, and just put moves on you to where you don't know if you're coming or going. Your shoes don't come untied because you're trying to keep up with them. And we're talking prime. There was like 2 or 3 year prime that he was unstoppable. And I'm talking about the dream, Hakeem Olajuwon.
He's probably my favorite
Ridiculous.
center, like of that generation. Like, and there were some good with him. Ewing, Hakeem, Robinson, Shaq, Dunk. I mean, there was
That
some
was the
good big
center
men back
era,
in the day.
man.
Hakeem
Athletic.
was so fun to watch. I loved Olajuwon, and like you said, man, that couple of year stretch where he really had developed the dream shake down in the post, there was nothing you could do. That dude was 6'11", 7 foot, high shot. I mean, nothing you do, hopeless.
I don't think I appreciated it because much like we were talking about baseball, I like the home runs as a kid. You like want to be the showstopper. I like the guys that would dunk on somebody and do these crazy dunks. But looking back now, I'm like, give me Hakeem. He just did things that was insane as far as his moves, the little jukes, the dream shake. I would take Hakeem any day of the week, up and down the court, the leader. And I believe, you ever listen to Up in Smoke with, who are the guys? I can't remember the names, but they do a podcast.
The Paul Pierce, no, it's God, who are you talking about? Steven Jackson.
Yeah, and somebody else, but I think they had Vernon Maxwell on there, and he gave a story about one time with Hakeem, and I guess he was smarting off to Hakeem or saying something, and Hakeem slapped the shit out of him. And he was known. Vernon Maxwell was known for being a hothead or whatever, and they were like, "So what did you do after you slapped me?" He said, "I set my ass down." That's the dream. He get that big ass hand on it. So Hakeem did not play a team leader. Those years with him and Clyde Drexler was pretty phenomenal, but I'm taking Hakeem Olajuwon as my center.
All right. I mean, you've got a strong four. All right, so my 2 picks. I'll be closing out my 5. One of them's obvious. Give me Tim Duncan. Again, and that's kind of a matchup thing. If I got anybody that's got to hang with Hakeem for a full game, Tim Duncan's probably my best bet. And
Again, not
to mention
fancy. Not
Who else I
fancy,
got on the
but
team?
effective.
Give me the big fundamental to go down there, do the dirty work, get the rebounds, play some defense. Give me Tim Duncan.
Wake Forest guy. Would not have saw that in college. Even though he was good in college, I was like, man, ain't nobody worried about no Tim Duncan. Boy, was I wrong. When you got the Twin Towers, were they considered the Twin Towers, him and David Robinson? That was a pretty good duo when they started out.
And then I'm gonna throw one in, and this is kind of a personal fave. I mean, he's still an all-time great, but just to round out my starting five, I got Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, and let me throw in Charles Barkley. I'll move Tim to the 5. Charles can play the 4. Give me Charles Barkley, and I don't care who you add for your 5th. David, you ain't beating me.
Man, you lost your mind. Again, you got Michael, Kobe, LeBron, Tim Duncan, Charles Barkley. Like I said, Michael, Kobe, and LeBron, or Michael and Kobe, are going to be arguing over who's going to get the damn ball. Who's bringing it up? I don't see no handles on your team good enough to get by my guys. Magic's going to put I don't know if you know this. Magic's up there with the top steals leader of all time. And I should pick a Gary Payton and completely shut down your folks. Cause I mean, we're talking about the glove, baby. The glove will put the clamps on you, but I'm not going to choose Gary Payton. I feel bad because I do feel like I need to put somebody in somewhat modern age because we have definitely showed our age in these picks. We look like we ain't watched basketball since '96, which is probably close for me.
Yeah, the Dream Team was about the end of it.
But I'll say on my last pick, if I'm wanting a guy, if I need to just catch and shoot, and again, not going to block him, freak size, pretty decent handles, not the biggest of guys, but does not get the respect I think he deserves because he does go a little bit championship chasing. He'll go from a team or two, and that's Kevin
I love
Durant.
the guy though. Yeah, he's actually. Truth be told, if I'm drafting my team and I've got KD and LeBron sitting on the sideline, I'm probably taking KD just because I don't fucking like LeBron.
Yeah.
But LeBron's, again, he's in the argument of the greatest of all time. And as much as I dislike him, if I could put him on my team and I'm trying to win a game, I think I'd be foolish not to. But no, I'm a much bigger fan of KD. I love that game. I'm not entirely sure KD's not the most skilled and probably most talented offensive player the basketball game's ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, he can score at any point, anywhere on the court. Like you said, talking about blocking Magic, Larry Bird. How you gonna block a 6'10" guy shooting threes? I mean, what you gonna do? And he's very long and lean, and his Achilles, he has some health issues, but it hurts him going from great team to great team. And if they had stayed in Oklahoma City, I think they'd have won multiple championships with him, Westbrook, and James Harden. James Harden is an honorable mention in the fact that he can score as well, but he just does not. Something about that guy I just don't like. But every time you look, phenomenal scorer.
I think a lot of that you talk on, I think it's a product of the modern AAU situation and just how basketball is treated growing up nowadays. These kids are hopping teams back and forth from the time they're 7, 8 years old, playing with this team in this tournament, playing with a different team in the next week's tournament. And then, so, I mean, it's just, there's no sense of loyalty, but that's also why you see these guys and half the time you watch them and go, man, I feel like I care about some of these games more than the guys playing them do.
Yeah. And back to the Oklahoma City team, Westbrook averaging a triple-double for a whole season. Why is that not talked about more? I was shocked when I heard that Oscar Robertson did it, but Westbrook, his later years obviously put a stain on his career, but man, a whole season of triple-doubles, that's unheard of.
Said it at the time, and it was one of those feats, and kind of like I make the argument all day, every day now. I don't think people are paying enough attention and give enough credit to what Shohei Ohtani is doing from a historical perspective. Like what Shohei is doing is legitimately unheard of. We have not ever seen anybody do what he's doing. But the same thing, Russell Wilson. I mean, you're talking about something that hadn't been done in decades, and in today's game with the specialization to be able to average a triple double,
To want to.
I think the thing is, it was just not a pretty game. I mean, he's a freakish athlete, and he had moments where you could see, man, the potential. This guy could just take over and become unstoppable. but it always just felt like his game was never that pure. Like the triple doubles felt forced. Like it just, I don't know. He never seemed like the kind of guy you would want to play with. And I think that has a lot to
Yeah.
do with why people don't get respect.
Yeah, could be. And Kevin Durant has a little bit of that. People have a little false, not a big fans of him. I mean, I do like that he was DMing porn stars and has a burner account on X. I mean, that's all fun stuff. But as a player, a straight scorer, he's up there with it. But that's a pretty good list on both sides. And if you're going to try to make your own list, think about the fact that we didn't go like, hey, top 5 players of all time, because it would have been, your Jordan, Shaq. We could have easily did that, but we're trying to go position, not position, but if you're lining up against somebody, how you going to compete against them?
Yeah, trying to field an actual team.
Yeah, so get with us. We'll send a message out, and if you disagree or agree, who you think would win, my team or Greg's team, and go ahead. It's fine. Greg has been hurt before. It's okay to agree with me and know that I'm right because Greg's wrong in this. I'm dominating him when it comes to this game. And so reach out, let us know what you think. And you were talking about Shohei. I'll just say this without question. Barry Bonds is the best hitter I've ever seen and probably ever will see. But the best player that I've ever seen, if it keeps up even a couple more years and ever will see, is Shohei Ohtani. And I try my best to tell my boys, listen, I'm telling you, watch as much of this guy as you can. We even went to a game when he's playing with the Angels. I don't think we went to yet when they played with the Dodgers. I was like, I gotta have you see this guy because this is what you're gonna be telling your kids and grandkids that you watch this guy play. He's
Yeah, I
that
mean,
special.
I've had the same kind of conversation with my oldest, Bailey. Bailey's a real big baseball fan, and I have told her, I said, "Sweetheart, I'm 47, and I've never seen this in my life." And there's a chance that when things change, the change kind of becomes more normal. And so maybe there's a chance that in the coming years we'll see more people trying to do what he's doing. But I was also very realistic with her, saying, "There's a chance you may never see this again in your
Yeah,
life." And I'm sure we'll see somebody else try it, but to do it at that level, to legitimately be an all-star pitcher and hitter, MVP, I mean, it's otherworldly, and I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. And the only thing I can think of is just because it's the language barrier, and he can't communicate with the people watching him.
they have to come up with a different award because he's the MVP every year. I mean, it's much like Jordan. They had to like give it to Charles Barkley a couple years just to make him feel good. But you could have gave it to Jordan every year and nobody would have said nothing. Same way with Otani. How are you giving it to anybody else if he does remotely what he does every year? Stays healthy. What do you do? I mean, I don't know what to do. You can't give it to anybody else. But I don't know. I could go on a a tangent as far as all that. But that is it for today. Top 5 line up on the basketball court. Greg's team versus my team. Let us know what you think. Greg, you got anything else you want to add before we go?
Yeah, I was gonna go ahead and float it out there. Since we know my fan, Christina, is probably gonna vote for my team, I was
God,
just
here
gonna
we
let
go.
Christina go
She
ahead
ain't
and give
listen to no
David, throw
sports
him a bone,
episode.
vote for his team, even though we know my team is better. Outside of that, no, same as everything. Y'all share this. We really do want to try to get more people involved in this. We want to invite some of our friends on the show. We want to get some traction with this and see where it goes.
Yeah,
And then on the big picture, like I always tell you, say your prayers, get in your Bibles, love each other, be good to each other, and have a great weekend.
absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for checking in. And like you said, share. We appreciate you guys. Thanks.